We are so close to closing a deal with a new client. And in the sales cycle, sometimes clients will raise objections, which means, they'll bring up things that would stop them from buying our product or service. And this client raised a very interesting objection, and I need Chris's advice. So I'm gonna sit down with him today and get his take on it. Got 2 seconds?
Yeah, come on in. Just check out my Instagram feed.
So,
What's on your mind?
I need some advice.
Okay.
We have a client objection that I need to overcome today at 4. So we literally have 2 hours to do that.
Okay.
So I need to get coached up.
Is this a fairly large job?
Yeah, it's
Okay, so if you were to dollars, you might be a little gun shy too. So let's start from a place of empathy and try to understand what their concerns are. And why are they gun shy? Why are they hesitant to pull the trigger and just not award the job and begin the whole process?
I think that the CEO has been burned in the past by agencies. So I think that the main decision maker, the reason why he's gun shy is that he's just been burned.
And the way that I find to get around this is to just ask them back for clarity. What is it that they're asking us to do? Oftentimes, when you ask for this, out of their mouths comes something very ridiculous, and you're just only going to confirm that. And I know that making a gigantic commitment like dollars is a lot. Maybe what we can do is then provide options like a phased engagement where we can do part of the work so that we mitigate the risk. And what we want to do then is to lean in with empathy to say, we understand is a large sum of money. We understand and can appreciate the fact that you've been burned before. Let's try to come up with a scenario where you can feel relatively safe, reasonably comfortable about moving forward with us, if that's what you would like to do.
I like that.
Okay?
So it's kind of putting us on the same side.
We're always on the same side, to be honest, because remember what we've talked about before, in that there are always 3 outcomes of any potential prospective client interaction. 1 is they hire us, which is what we always think we want to have happen. 2, they hire somebody else. And 3, they do nothing. Our only obligation is to be clear and provide them with information so that they can make a decision as to how they want to proceed. I'm not trying to pitch, I'm not trying to sell, I'm not trying to convince you of anything. So the first thing is, let's try and find out
what the ask
is, because sometimes we hear something and it's not exactly what it is. So if you say to them, can you tell me what the request is? And they're gonna say, yes, we would like for you to do some of this work without getting paid. And they need to say in those words so I help them realize that, right?
And if they don't,
you can help.
I need to ask
other questions. So what I'm hearing, you can always rephrase. Mm-hmm. So what I'm hearing you say is the part where we put into our bid for $50K, you want us to do that work for free or some portion of that work for free. Is that what you're asking me? Would you do that? Would you recommend that I go tell my boss to do that work for free? Okay, so what kind of assurances can I make to you so that we mitigate the risk that you're feeling, the anxiety? What can we do?
Alternatively, we've already walked them through one case study, but we kind of glazed over the discovery session. What if we did a deep dive on a case study on what the discovery session was?
Well, if that's what they say they want.
Okay.
I'm gonna caution you here. A lot of people come in like, I'm gonna talk about that case study because that's gonna be it. And they don't actually hear what it is that the client's saying. You have to be able to listen to what they're saying, right?
So ask what the ask is.
Get clarity. And then get them to say it. And the objective there is to help them realize that may be an unreasonable request. Mm-hmm. And then say it back to them, here's what I heard.
Yep.
So now they can even hear the absurdity of their request. You really want red apples in the middle of the desert.
Yep.
And then you can ask, how do you propose we do that?
How can we do this? How can we make you guys feel safe?
No. Not yet.
Okay.
How do you propose us getting red apples in the middle of the desert? How do you propose we bring our creative team to your office to run a strategy session and not get paid for that?
Oh, I see.
How do you propose we do that as a business? How do we do that and be sustainable?
So you're just driving that point home.
I have to help them understand that.
Right.
You can also ask them, were there warning signs of the last vendor who did this that burned you? I want to be really sensitive to this, right? It's like I had a bad feeling. They had a really small team. They didn't have a legitimate office. And then you can say, okay, is there anything that I'm saying that you feel uncomfortable with? Would you like to meet the owner? Or you want to meet the executive? Like, are there other people you want to meet? Would you like to come to our office? Or I can create a virtual tool. So I'm just going to try to address whatever it is. I want to be deeply empathetic and understanding. And through that, people start to feel like, this guy cares. So we are going to do this together. How can we help you?
Show empathy through
You got to show empathy to demonstrate understanding. Does that help you?
It does.
Okay.
I think I'm ready.
So go on this call, ask, be open,
Yeah.
don't expect anything. Let me know what happens, and then we'll circle back and see how you did.
Thank you, sir.
All right?
All right.
Okay. My pleasure.